Well, without further ado, I'll call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Rules Committee of the Representative Town Meeting. And first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of October 2nd. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. And I see Ann with a second. Any corrections, additions, changes? Yes, Lois.
There's a statement in there that I spoke about how we were going to do the Board of Ethics voting, and it's the moderator voting. So I'm just going to make that change, okay? Or ask
All
Chris
right.
to change. So that's
All right.
as amended.
So it's as amended. Any others? Okay.
That'll be
Those in
reflected in
favor.
these minutes, Lois, right?
Now let's not start
Don't
this.
open that.
For those of you not familiar, we've had debates on how many sets of minutes there are for a given meeting. So what do you do with the ones that are amended? That's the question. Never mind. I won't bore you with that. I'll welcome Town Council. Good. So voting. We're ready to vote. Those in favor. Hands. Makes it easier to see everybody. It looks unanimous. Noes. I don't see any. Abstentions. I don't see any. The minutes as amended stand approved. A report. Oh, what the heck did this thing just do? Anyway, a report from the Technology Committee.
Okay, there are two topics for tonight. The first one is Mike and I are very excited to announce that the RFP for the technology upgrade to the auditorium is out. The responses are due back November 16th, and 3 companies went on the tour the end of last week to see what was going on and what it is. The information went out to the fact that the RFP was available went out to a lot of different companies. They're hoping for more of a response. If any of you know, the RFP is posted on the website. If any of you know of any companies that implement audiovisual programs in the auditorium, let Mike know, and we'll follow up and make sure that they get the RFP, because the more that do it, the better off we are. The ones that have shown up, people were pleased with who they were. So we're moving, which is very, very, and Kate's done a phenomenal job in organizing it, doing it, using the vendor to help with the process excellently. So we're really excited. We're pleased.
We amended it today to take out that it was a requirement to do an on-site visit, so that maybe we can get some companies that have a little wider net, but didn't necessarily want to come to Darien for the day from New Jersey or Long Island or whatever. So the amended RFP is being posted tomorrow.
So that's one. Second, as you all know, there's a new town website, and excellent work by tons of people. And of course, once they go through all this big stuff, the little stuff comes back to haunt them. So a number of us have found some things that we think need to be changed or adjusted and things like that. And so the Technology Committee is offering to coordinate our comments and provide them to the appropriate town people as a group, rather than any of us either just blowing it off or actually trying to pursue how we get things changed and things like that. So if you have, I strongly urge you to look at the town website, see what you think, see suggestions that you have. And if you get them to me by the end of the week, then I will incorporate them, and I will follow through with the appropriate town people to hopefully get the changes made. The things that we've identified already is that a lot of the back information, like minutes and agendas, has not yet been put up on the website. So we want to clarify what's needed and what people want to use, and I look forward to getting your information on that.
Lois,
and
do you
that's,
know, one of the challenges I had with it early on were a lot of, and I assume this has been fixed, but just to ask now, a lot of the emails weren't working. So if you clicked on someone's name and it was supposed to take you to their email, none of them were, or not, I shouldn't say none. Most of the ones I tried did not work.
okay, so this is me today. If if your computer is set up where there's a tie-in between your email server, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, your email server and that thing, normally if you click on it, it'll open up your Google account and it'll set
Right.
up an email right in front of you with that address, okay? Mine doesn't do it. Mine just says no connection or whatever. So what I learned today is if you right click on so what the link now doesn't show you the email address. It says click here to reach Mr. McNamara, okay? And if you
Yes.
right click on that email, you'll see something that says copy email address. And then you click on copy email address, and then you can put that into your email thing. That is what I learned today, and it totally makes it work for me. So that was,
Thank you.
you're welcome. That was hard earned, Michael. And actually, it was Karen.
It drove me nuts a few weeks ago when I was trying to reach people from the Affordable Housing Trust, and I still to this day can't find one person's email address. It just can't find it anywhere. So I'm not.
My suggestion is contact Karen or in the selectman's office.
Can I contact who, Lois?
Karen
Karen Dunn or Linda.
or Linda
Thank you.
in the selectman's office. They
Okay.
are our coordinator. They handle lots of problems, and Karen was the one that taught me how to do this today. So yes, I know your problem well.
Thank
And
you.
you gave up. I got mad. So between the two of you, get it done.
I didn't get mad before I gave up. You're giving me too much credit there, Lois.
Okay. Historical agendas and minutes. Besides the RTM, if there are other committees that or commissions or other people that you follow, please let me know so I can just make sure that information is included. And the third piece is the calendar only shows you going forward, not going back. So if you wanted to know what date was the last selectman meeting, you got to go to minutes and agendas. So I hope to get that changed also. So some of these things are the things that Mike and I have run into already. I'm sure there are a lot more. It's wonderful what they've done. They've done a huge job. Oh, and there's one more. I take it back. Jack was going to jump in, but I'm going to say it. The RTM on one of the sites, it says elected officials, and it doesn't list the RTM because the RTM is actually a separate link. But we're going to ask to have an alternate, have RTM listed under the elected officials and have it linked to the group that's the our representative town meeting. So.
Got it.
Anybody else, and right off the top, have anything? Okay, so get in touch with Mike or myself, and by the end of the week, really appreciate you looking at it because people will help, but they don't see what we see. So we need to help them by testing it out and trying to use it.
Have
Right.
All it was history, on how much history was going to be up there.
Yeah, well, tell me what we want, and that's what I'm going after. Okay.
I've supposedly a lot of people signed up for the notify me function. I've signed up for a number of them, but I've never received a notification. So I haven't dug into what I'm doing wrong. I just wondered if anyone else had signed up for any of the notify me's and they actually gotten a notification of a meeting.
I didn't do it.
I guess not. Okay. All right. I'll check with Karen and Linda tomorrow.
Okay. Or I can include it on the list, Mike, to have them
Okay.
test it out.
Okay.
And the purpose of doing it through our technology committee was so, one, to avoid the frustration that Michael, you felt and didn't want to dig too far. I understand that. And two, it's easier for them if we can get information from a whole bunch of people and we can follow up and let you know that it's happened or what the status of things are. So that's the approach we're using. So thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Lois. Great. Next, we get into discussing and voting RTM items and assigning committees. First is authorizing Public Works Committee to create a subcommittee on sidewalks and to work on that project. it's just, this is well, I guess bookkeeping in a sense, us just appointing, saying that they're assigned to work on that. That follows assigning committees to do certain projects. So can I have a motion in favor of that, please?
I'll move.
Jack, got you. Jack and Ann is second. Discussion?
I just want to add, because Mark isn't here, this project was a working group just to update from, I believe, the 2015 initiative that was started, and just do an update on what has been done, and then report back to the Public Works Committee. It's nothing nefarious. It's good to do checks and balances on what's been promised. I think it's a good working group that they've put together.
Okay. Further
And could I
questions?
just add that to Jack's point, I agree, and that it was called the Sidewalk Infrastructure Committee. So is that what it's being called again? We're not inventing a
I
new
didn't get
committee?
instruction from Mr. Adelet on that, but we can
Yeah.
call it.
Because I was on Public Works with him when we created that. So it was the
Okay.
Infrastructure Committee. All right, thanks.
Sidewalk Infrastructure Committee. Okay. Good.
Seth, can I just pause for a minute to ask? We've had a caller join us. Could you tell us who's on the line? So we had a caller join us on the phone. Can you tell us who it is, please?
Yes, Wayne Fox. I've tried to join you
Oh,
in the system. I see you.
No,
but I can't
we've
hear
got you in color, Wayne.
we can
Now
see
I
you.
gotta join.
I'm just going to mute you because we're getting some feedback from your line. And then when you're going to talk, just unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. So ready to vote? All those in favor? Please, hands. Great. All right. Opposed? Don't see any. Abstentions? Don't see any. Passes unanimously. Next one is authorizing Park and Recreation Committee to work on Park and Recreation Commission projects. There's a broad stroke there, Adele. Got any comments?
I'll
Can I have
move
a
it.
motion?
I'll
Can I have a
move it.
motion in favor, please? Lois, gotcha. Second, Joe? Okay. Comments? Oh, silence from the chair. All right. Ready to vote? Those in favor, please. Thank you. Opposed? I see none. Abstentions? I see none. Excuse me. Got to shut that off. State of Connecticut.
too popular, Seth.
Right, that's nice. Anyway, I see no abstentions. Motion passes. Next, review and approve RTM changes to Appendix B. We'll start. We will add something on Part 4. We discovered something at the very end of all of the effort that we put in here, particularly Frank and Jack, just ours. But we found that in Part 4, you had to give 5 days notice on special meetings, and that's a direct conflict with FOIA, which Krista would be more than happy to give us an hour on, but not necessary. So we will add that change in. We'll get wording on that so that it's in compliance with FOIA. It's 24 hours is the correct how that
Seth,
got in here.
Can I make
Yes.
a comment?
Yeah, sure, Jack.
So first of all, you got to give credit where credit is due. This was a phenomenal catch by Krista when she was looking at things and brought it to our attention. And while we were working on part 6, part 4 is there. Wayne is in possession of certain verbiage and language on it. Krista had made a suggestion that was passed to Wayne earlier today on the verbiage. But while we give notice, we're not necessarily complying again with what our code says. And so it will be a separate resolution to follow the adjustment to Appendix B, Part 6, that will deal with solely replacing Appendix B, Part 4, Section 3. And Wayne's working on the verbiage on it. But we've also been, because that section deals primarily with the meeting itself, we've added standing committees and just clarifying certain things so that we are now fully articulating what the Connecticut FOIA is requiring us to do, and we will be complying with that as such. That's our intent. So
Great. So we have that. And then, of course, the big one is Part 6, Rules and Standing Committees, which has been literally rewritten. And I would recognize Frank to talk about it and Jack to talk about what's been done. I got the latest draft of this out to you late this afternoon. There were just changes that came up at the last minute, and we got as many of them taken care of so that I could get you the most recent draft out. It is a red line draft, so you can see the changes that were made. So if you didn't happen to glance at your email, in your email, there would be the latest version. And I apologize for the lateness of the hour, but on the other hand, I'm pleased to give you, I would say, the most recent comments in the most recent draft. So I don't know, Frank, you want to start?
All right. Well, thanks, Seth. You mentioned that there's a lot of people who've done a lot of work on this. We actually started. We authorized this in our October 2nd meeting. And there's been a heck of a lot of work done since then with the different committees, every committee. And I would say that all of the suggestions have been folded in to the document that you received. There were probably about 7 different editions because we would discuss and then accommodate the suggestions that were brought up in the meeting. I know that there may be one difference of opinion, which we will probably get to later on, but it has really been a good example of teamwork. What you received this afternoon is not all that much different than what was rattling around last week. We had the benefit of a couple eagle-eyed editors who did some very good wordsmithing this afternoon, and we're very happy with the presentation that we bring to you this evening. Jack, what can you add to that? Is there anything that can be added?
no.
Oh, you're teasing us, Jack.
That's something we rarely hear from Jack. Did I hear that right?
Look, it's a consensus document. There may be parts that people don't agree with in total, but the total package really represents what the task was, which was to clean up the existing document, bring it up to date, reflect how we're operating in the RTM, as well as how we should be operating in the RTM. So frequently in many of the meetings when there was some confusion, we added the verbiage in immediately and worked on the wordsmithing. There are some points that we may have different opinions of what the role of the RTM is versus what other people think the role of the RTM is. That's fine. I think the concept is that we would prefer, and that we can't stop, but we would prefer that this be an up or down vote. I mean, obviously, we'll take comments and other things like that, but at the end of the day, we're taking out Appendix P, Part 6, and replacing it with the document that you have. That's really what the resolution's all about. So again, it's a consensus. It's a very solid document, I believe. And I believe, based upon the input we've gotten from other committees, they feel the same. So I think that summarizes everything.
Thank you, Jack. Other comments? Can I have a motion in favor of the Appendix B, Part 6, and trust some understanding of what the part, also it would include Part 4 as well, but Part 4 is really pretty straightforward. There's nothing, it's just changing the day's notice to comply with FOIA. So can I have a motion to go forward and put Appendix B on the agenda of the RTM? Yes, Peter. Yes, I have a motion. Second, I have Mike Castello. Comments? Okay, ready to vote? All in favor, please. Thank you. No, Frank, only one hand. Opposed, please. I see none. Abstentions? I see none. Passes unanimously.
Can I propose a round of applause?
Yeah, no,
Right,
I
absolutely.
like to just thank, there's like the old Academy Awards things, thanking my director and my producer and all that. But look, let this thing go down as a team effort. People always talk about team efforts while something is going on, and after it's over, and we kind of breathe a little sigh of relief looking back at the last month. It really is a credit to all of you and Wayne and Krista and my colleagues on TGSNA who got a first swipe at the thing to put the ball in play. Jack, I know that you have some people to thank as
Frank, you're muted.
You put me on the spot. Look, again, we went to each of the committees. I apologize to Frank, who had to listen to the same story over and over and over again, at least 8 times, and complain to me like any wife would that they've already heard that story. But the fact of the matter is that we really did get some very good input from people. And I think some of them were shocked when we said, yeah, good point. Let's write it in right now. What's the verbiage that you need for that? And we worked it out. So again, very good consensus document. And, just knowing and working with Frank for quite a lot of months now, I don't think either Frank or I would present anything to the Rules Committee or the RTM that we didn't think was a good document as it was written. So that's, I want to thank Frank for his work in that.
all right. But over and out with a doff of the cap to town council, who was even generous to come this evening to shepherd this thing on through. Thank you, Wayne, for all your work in the last month or so.
Yeah, it's been like any major project, when you get down to the final, the final steps, stuff comes out of the woodwork, and it's everybody worked very hard to adapt and to make changes as people realize things that we just hadn't seen before. And I think a lot of credit to just a lot of effort. I know that Jack and Frank and town council were working on this all over the weekend and all day today. Again, getting it in a format as far along as they could get it, in a fairly short period of time. So congratulations, guys, on a lot of hard work.
I also want to mention, because I think the fact that we did part 6, and I know I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. The fact that Krista took the time and opportunity to go through the rest of the appendix and find this is really worthy of mentioning. And so this is something that to me is a slam dunk quick fix. But to me, I really greatly appreciate it. And so I wanted to be public about that.
Thank you so much, Jack. That was very thoughtful. I appreciate it.
Well, the other part that you don't see too is Krista shipping out versions. We were doing about one a day there for a while, so having to get them out to all the right parties takes a lot of coordination, a lot of effort. So she did a great job doing that, and I appreciate it. As far as presentation, I guess Frank would move the item on the floor, and we have been in front of all of the committees, so we have you guys have really worked hard to get all their comments now. There shouldn't be a lot of discussion about it on the floor, but so would F&B have anything?
We're going to vote on it because we originally.
We're getting an echo somewhere.
Yeah, I shut Frank off. I've been doing that a lot.
Okay.
We're going to vote on it on Wednesday when we have a special meeting, but I don't really see a need for F&B to report on that.
Okay.
And we didn't ask any of the other committees to vote as well, because they never had the final version.
Well, all right.
TGSNA has a regular meeting next Tuesday night, and I anticipate positive result out of that. But that's why we have a meeting.
Okay, great. So TGSNA will introduce it. No report from F&B unless you tell me later. I don't know that any other committees would have a report. I suppose I could ask, but I would not anticipate anything there because they've already been involved in the discussion.
And I'm going to be a pain right now, not more than usual. Under the current rules that we currently live by, no committee can report unless they were assigned by rules. So that sort of brings that to a close until we vote on this and vote that up, because it's in this new document that allows other committees to report on matters not assigned by rules. So right now, under the current ordinance and code, TGSNA can vote, report. F&B can because they were originally assigned. So that's the first one. On the second one, either TGSNA can report on the second resolution, which is part 4,
yeah.
Part 4, or I feel very comfortable reporting on it but I will give a heads up to Krista and to Wayne that I may defer to them, saying they may have something to add on this. But I feel comfortable that F&B can report on the second one, only because I've been working, unless Frank wants to introduce that one as well. Whatever. I don't care on how you want to handle, but it's a second
Well,
resolution.
we use TGS&A to introduce them, and then if the F&B wants to talk on part 4,
Fine,
perfectly.
that works.
All right.
Can we
All right.
assume that, can we
Yeah.
assume that the assignment of the committees for the second, for this new piece is the same as the one before, or do we have to reassign, we have to assign these pieces? There's new one.
We have to assign.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to do that.
We need to make a motion to assign TGS&A and F&B to amend
To part 4.
Yeah, Appendix B, Part 4. So I'll make that motion.
I'll take a second. Patty, I got Patty second. So good. Those in favor, please. Okay. Opposed? I see none. Abstentions? I see none. Unanimous. Okay. The only other question, I think, usually we ask the body if there's any comments from the body. And I think that that's appropriate. I wouldn't expect that there would be, because of all the meetings we had with the committees, but as a matter of procedure, I think that we would do that. And I think that would be it. That this is an operating procedure for the RTM. It involves the RTM itself. It's not, only indirectly involves other parts of the town. So I think if we had any comments from the floor, we would take those and then
We're going to have 2 votes, right, Seth? One
Yes.
for each piece?
Yes. But we also have to amend the agenda for that meeting to add the second, the Appendix B, Part 4 to the agenda, because that was not on the original agenda that we had. So we have to take a motion to add that to the agenda and put it after the Part B section, Appendix B, Part 6, in the order of the agenda.
There's 2 other changes for the agenda. I want to just vote on that all at once. One of them,
Works for me.
the rules meeting last time had ARPA as listed as one of the items on the agenda. Is that isn't in the current draft of the agenda? So I have a question on whether it should be or not.
We did some quick movement in the last meeting, but I don't think at this time, with the agenda that we have already, that it's worth going through, because we have such a
Did we lose Seth?
Yes, I think we did.
I think we lost Seth.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll take over.
Hey, Jack, was anything time, I'm trying to remember if anything was time sensitive on that meeting. And some of the things we don't even have to vote on the RTM for that ARPA. It was just the selectmen, remember?
Well, yeah, let me just give a quick thing, Patty, because you're absolutely correct. The advisory committee is just, the RTM voted for the full package appropriation of ARPA. So we did our job. Now we're on a group that that goes, and that advisory committee does nothing more than recommend things to the Board of Selectmen, and they're the only ones that get to vote on the allocation of funds. It does go to the Board of Finance because they have to establish the appropriation for it. But it's not that they're approving the concept of what was done. They're doing the bookkeeping for establishing the appropriation. I mean, we could go through that, like we have the new street cleaner that we deferred in the last budget, but was going to go in here, and we added that one in. And there's a couple of other things along those lines. But with enough that's going on and possibly having some new people who are not familiar with ARPA, I think we can wait until either a December or January meeting before we report on ARPA again.
Okay, so when we're talking about changing the agenda, we're going to take off the ARPA one that we approved last time, and we're going to add in the new part of Appendix B, Section 6, I think you said, okay? And I just texted Seth, and he said he's coming back, but we'll see. So is there any more discussion about the agenda for the meeting? Oh, the other thing that we're going to vote on for the change to the agenda is that it's 3 members of the Board of Ethics we have to deal with them because of expiring terms. Okay?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so eliminate ARPA, add in Appendix B, Part 6, and take out and change the Board of Ethics to 3 people. Do I have a motion to adjust?
Wait, it's
What?
adding in Appendix B, Part 4. Part 6 was already there.
Sorry. Good. Okay.
No, that's all right. These are the Roman numerals. They keep on switching on each other.
Oh, I see what I did. I got it. Yep. I got it. All right.
Your coup is over. Seth's back.
Ah, damn.
Hello.
Okay, to catch you up, we have talked about adjusting the agenda that we approved at the last rules meeting to add in Appendix B, Part 4, to take out ARPA and to change the number of members to the Board of Ethics to 3 members. And that's what's on the table. You can ask for a motion and whatever else you want to do with it.
Can we be a little bit?
the
Wait.
morning.
We
Can I
need to
ask a
be
question?
specific because
Yeah.
it's Appendix B, Part 4, Section 3. It's not the whole section.
Yep.
Don't do that to Frank and I. You know, it's Appendix 6 was enough.
No, that's what's written in my draft. So yes, that is Part 4, Section 3.
Yeah,
Patty,
right.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
So Jack, the
Yes.
meeting, we're doing the joint meeting on Wednesday with F&B, Public Works, and Parks and Rec on the contracts. So that's not going to be far enough along for us to put it on the agenda?
No, it should be on the agenda. It's already on the agenda.
Okay, just confirming it should be on the agenda.
It is.
As
It
a
is.
matter of fact, if we do
Yeah, I
not,
sent out a draft warning to you so you could see the whole thing.
Thanks.
And now, but ARPA, where is this? I didn't have ARPA on the agenda.
No, it's not on your draft, but it was what we approved at the last rules meeting for the agenda for the meeting.
All right.
It was in the minutes, okay? And the minutes
all
of
right.
our last meeting said that one of the items on the agenda for the November 13 meeting was an ARPA discussion. So we're taking that off.
Okay.
With
Right.
these, we're revising the agenda for the November 13th meeting.
Yep. Okay, so that's okay, but we're going to vote the agenda, so we don't need a motion on that particular item. All right, so we've got the what I would call routine items that have to get taken care of to get down to the point where we start the business of a meeting. I'll do you have the call to order by the town clerk. She swears in the newly elected members. We've got the chair of the nominating committee for the election of the moderator. We do acceptance of the agenda, approval of the minutes of September 18. Announcements, just telling everybody that the reports will be from committees assigned in 2022. The chair, vice chair, senior member of the RTM from each district will conduct the recording of the votes because they haven't been voted in yet. So it's the former chairs. And then I put that the following day, you'll get material electronically to select committee preferences. And we want them back by the 16th of November. Do we agree on that, Krista?
That's what,
Is that straight?
they'll be getting them on the 14th. It's kind of up to you guys. So it's going to be an electronic dissemination. If you guys get the responses on the 16th, is that enough time? That's kind of your guys' call, how you want to move that window of time. Do you guys need more time? Do you want to give more time to the
well,
members?
you need time to distribute the information out to everybody. And
No, I
for them-
don't. It's an electronic through the new website. It's going to be an email. The responses are going to be automatically generated to the rules representatives of each district.
All right. All right. So November 16 or no, the other would be the 17th is the Friday. So you want to move it to the give an extra day to the 17th?
No, because then we have to get on people's case for when we don't get it. So that's when we do that on the 17th.
All right, so we'll say by Thursday the 16th. All right. Then
One other thing, when
I've got a question. At what point do we have to publish the dates of Rules Committee and RTM meetings for the whole year?
the Rules Committee does it at their meeting when they assign the committees. That's for the Rules Committee, and then the committees themselves, when they meet the following week, they do it at their committee meetings.
But isn't it by January 30th that everybody has to have their meetings in?
That's one of the adjustments on section 3, that it states that all meetings must be at the town clerk's office no later than January 31st. And that's not only for the RTM main and for rules, but also for the standing committees. And those become the regular meetings of the year by definition.
So that,
But also any other meeting that is scheduled, as long as it's 30 days out, you schedule it in February and the meeting is April, that's still a regular meeting though. Just want to clarify, not just the list.
right. Yep. Okay. So we've got that figured out. Any other questions? Good. I'll do the orientation. Then we do an update on Great Island. Then move the Public Works Union contract, and then approve the revised Appendix B. And then we go into the election of 3 members to the Board of Ethics.
Two votes for the Appendix B.
The first vote
there's 2
is,
parts to it. You've got 4.
no, it's 2 separate resolutions.
Right.
Two resolutions.
Yeah.
So the first one is the approval of Appendix B, Part 6.
Right.
And a second resolution, which we'll have before that meeting, is approval of Appendix
Part 4.
B, Part 4, Section 3.
Right.
All right. And just, and we'll have to Krista at least the draft, that everybody's going to be voting on that night, to be sent out to all members of the RTM, which gives the definitions of those various committees that you're asking them to look at. So that'll be there. And with a little bit of help, we'll have what used to be called the matrix, which is now being referred to as the RTM scope and standing committee scope. We'll have a revised version of that to Krista as well to be sent out.
Okay. All right. Next is the election of 3 members of the Board of Ethics, and then the breakout by district to select their chairs, vice chairs, and 2 members of the Rules Committee. So, can I have a motion to accept that agenda?
Krista has a question, I think, Seth.
Krista,
You're muted, Krista.
Sorry, yes. I'm sorry I didn't need to jump in here, but as far as Board of Ethics, the communication that's going to go out after Election Day soliciting nominations, are you inviting candidates to give a 3-minute speech, or what? How do you want to handle that?
yeah, I think that's a good idea so that everybody's familiar with who the people are. To give them 2 minutes, sure.
And
Okay, so
do we second those nominations too, like we have to do with the moderator?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then vote them. Do the vote.
okay, so I'll have the list of the nominees from Board of Ethics and for moderator prior to that meeting. Lois, you're going to get the you'll get the moderator nominations.
Yes.
I'll get the Board of Ethics nominees, and we'll share that then with the moderator. And then the meeting will go from there. So 2 minutes, just so I'll put that in the communication, just so I know.
Yeah,
So 2 minutes, candidates? Okay.
So I think what we talked about, and I want to make sure that people are comfortable with this, for each name that's for the moderator, that we'll ask that person to confirm that they'd like to be considered for the moderator. And then we'd ask for a second on that name. And then after we get the whole pool of those people, then we will ask people to come up one at a time and speak for 2 minutes on why we should. If there's only one name, we're obviously going to put that name up there, and we'll do it by acclamation. Well, anyway, we'll do it without the paper ballot. But if there's more than one, then we're going to do a secret ballot, and that's how it's going to go.
There's also to be
Yeah.
nominations made from the floor.
Yes.
That can happen, providing it's a second. But part of the thing that we have to do is if somebody is nominated, and we mentioned sometimes people put other people's names in, if they're not going to run and you don't know about that beforehand, they just get up and say, I respectfully decline, and they don't get the 2-minute speech of why they're declining. It's just, thank you very much, I'm not running, and then we move on from there.
that's the way we've done it in the past, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Further questions, thoughts? All right. Ready to vote? This is voting for the agenda for the annual meeting of the town. All those in favor?
Wait, do we have who moved it and who second for the agenda?
We have yeah, I thought well, I'll ask for it. Can I have a motion in favor, please? Yes, thank you, Ann. Second? Adele, thank you. Ready to vote? All those in favor, please. Okay. Opposed? I see none. Abstentions? None. Item passes. Agenda set. And at this point, I'll take a.
Wait, before we make a motion to adjourn, I think we all need to thank Ann for her service here, being that she thought the last rules meeting was her last meeting, and we dragged her back in anyway.
Thank
But I
you,
think to thank her for her service to the town and the RTM.
Thank you,
Thank
Ann.
you, Ann.
We're here.
By the way, Peter and I are in a contested race, so we might not be here either.
Thank you.
Well,
Good luck.
we'll say, yes, good luck. We'll say our prayers.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Anything else? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Peter's in, a second.
Second.
Second from Frank. All those in favor,
Good night, all.
turn off your sets. No. All right. All those in favor, aye, it's unanimous.
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thanks, Wayne, for attending. And